Here is a Lakewood, the heater. This is a radiant heater. I haven't picked up any heaters in a while. I just don't really use them anymore. I don't have much of a use case. I used to use a heater in the studio at the old location, but here I don't need to because I have a heat pump in here which costs a lot less to operate, so I just don't really have much of a use case for this type of heater anymore. But when I saw this form factor, I thought this might be really nice to use in the bathroom, because the bathroom is far away from the heat source upstairs, and it does get kind of chilly in there on the cold winter nights. And sometimes a radiant heater is very nice in the bathroom when you get out of the shower. So I grabbed this and they will use it in the bathroom. It is a Lakewood model QT1, 1500 watts heater, allegedly UL listed. It is a Quartz, Quartz, Quasar, I don't know how the heck you say it. UQRs with a Z, ZARs, I don't know. It's a radiant heater. It has quartz elements. It looks like there's some dirt on there that might burn off or ignite when I turn it on, who knows. On reset, probably has a thermal overload. And there's the, okay, there's the probably very inaccurate temperature control. It looks like there's some vents on the sides to let some excess heat out. A very noisy heater, which is ironic because it should be silent. It's not fan forced. The base is the plastic, but everything else is metal. There's a handle here. Oh boy, there's a shock hazard. Warning, shock hazard. Do not operate heater with a broken or cracked Quartz, Quasar tube. Replace element. See user's guide. Don't tell me what to look at. You see the user's guide. That's a little too far back. Alright, let's go ahead and get this plugged in. That's too close. Let's go ahead and get this plugged in. Trying to use the GoPro camera and other cameras more often because I can use the microphones. But I'll tell you, not having zoom is kind of annoying. And this camera, this is almost halfway, like look how far back it is. It's at where the fan is. This is so far back from the bench just to get this in the frame. But I'm trying to get used to this because I think in the next couple years, you know, the consumer grade video camera it's like an extinct product. I think at some point we're going to have to resort to recording on alternative pieces of equipment. I don't like that, but just that is what it is. There's a fire hazard on that stinking power cord. Here's what the cord looks like. Pretty standard. It is probably 16 gauge. Yep, 16 gauge wire. We'll plug it into the kilowatts, the meter. Hopefully the QUartz element's not broken so there's no fire hazard. And we'll go ahead and turn it on now. The pilot light, if you will, is on. Can't tell if it's neon. Yeah, I think it is. Kind of see in there from the side. Looks like it might be a neon. Hopefully it isn't. It's not a stinking DEL. If it's a DEL, it might flicker. And then I might get a headache. So I don't think there's any speeds. I don't think it's like one or two elements. I think it's just on or off. Oh yeah, that is one noisy heater. That was so loud I thought it might be fan forced for a couple of seconds. Now it's quiet. That puts out a lot of nice heat too. I can feel the heat from that quite a few feet back. Now this is a radiant heater. Radiant heaters heat people and objects, not the air. I mean, this will inadvertently raise the air temperature to an extent, but this is more for heating people than heating the air. It is consuming, well, it's dropped the voltage down to 112.6, and the bar is vibrating. This is what, 11.64 amps. The bar is only good for 12, so we're kind of teetering on the edge of what the bar is capable of. I guess worst case scenario, that'll just trip off. 1,309 the watts, power factor of 1, of course. This is a nice heater. That's putting out a lot of heat. Now this is going to feel really nice in the bathroom. The only thing is I have to put it, it's got to be kind of near the vanity because that's where the outlet is and there's not a lot of space to work with. So hopefully it doesn't get too hot on the sides. It does throw off quite a bit of heat to the sides too. It is definitely mostly out to the front. That's pretty nice. I like this heater. Not gonna like paying to run it, but for a couple minutes when I get a shower, it might be worth the couple of cents in electricity it cost. It's glowing pretty bright. Well, everything seems copacetic. Yeah, that's definitely throwing out a serious amount of heat. But above it, I don't feel much. Again, because this is not an air heater. This heats objects. That's how radiant heat works. Yeah, I can feel this a good 4 feet back or so. This is nice. I think this is going to work very good for the bathroom. Okay, we'll cut it off. Seems like the elements only glow up about a little over halfway. I wonder if that's how it's supposed to be, or if they are wearing out. I do think that these quartz elements have a limited lifespan and do need to be replaced after a certain number of hours. It was only drawing 1300 out of 1500 watts. And some heaters are like that, but I don't know, maybe that is an indicator that the tubes need to be replaced.